Hello, everybody. I hope you're doing well. My name is Abdallah, and today, while taking a short tea break, I'm going to share this topic: how to read technical articles efficiently for software engineers. So, whether you're a developer, QA, DevOps engineer, it's all for you. And this will not only help you to save time, but also be able to read more technical articles, blog posts, etc. more efficiently. So, let's start. So this title itself, I got it from the book How to Read a Book by Mr. Arthur Mortimer. I just bought the book. I'm currently reading it. It's quite like it's not that easy. Text is quite hard to understand, but it doesn't matter. So the tips I'm going to share with you right now can also be applied with reading articles, blog posts, even non-technical blog posts, video tutorials as well. But not also that, you can also apply it to Udemy courses, Pluralsight, and so on and so forth. So what's the context here is that, let's say you are learning a new technology like React, Ruby on Rails, or GraphQL, or you just want to learn what's trending on the market, what is the new hype, what are the new technologies, and you can do it. Or simply you're following a tutorial and you want to ensure yourself that you're not going to waste your time and the tutorial is relevant to you. And even that, one pro tip I give you, especially when you are learning technology, like let's say you're learning React with hooks, it's important to check the dates, because sometimes if you're beginning, absolute beginner in React, for example, I highly recommend you use only the official documentation. You read through it, you practice it, and it should be good. Otherwise, if you're following any tutorial, make sure that the data is quite recent, because technology moves so fast and it can easily, very easily, get you an outdated tutorial. So let's move. And just before I give you the tips, it's good that you know there are different types of reading. So this is from the book How to Read a Book. There is reading for instruction, reading for understanding, and reading for entertainment. The last one is not relevant to us. It doesn't concern us. So for us, let's say the first one, reading for instruction, is for you want to install Docker on your machine, for example. You will have some instruction and you will follow them and it works. And it's quite easy. Reading for understanding is very important when you're learning, because before you learn, you read something, you have an idea of how it works, but afterwards, once you've read it and understood it, your knowledge changes, and that's the kind of reading that we will usually be reading on about technical subject. Okay, so to begin with, the most important part, so let's say you're going to be reading titles, articles, technical articles. The first thing to look out is for clickbaits. For example, I took this one from Hacker News, and actually the article is all about how to clickbait a developer. There are some catchy trends you can take a look. Like for example, go-to statement are considered harmful, Docker considered harmful, and so on and so forth. But the reality is they are just uh, clickbaits, and for sure, many of articles that I've read, I've seen that only the title are amazing, but the content is not too good. So you just need to be lookout for this, and then if you think it's going to be correct for you, what you can do is check the table of content, and by doing that, just skim through. You already have an idea of how it works. For example, how what is going to be covered in the topic. You have this idea, and this might help you already make a decision whether to continue reading it, or maybe it's too much and then bookmark it and come back to it later. But let's say you're working on an issue, a technical issue, and for example, right now Let's see, for example, serverless architecture will dominate 7.7. You're looking something like that, so you already know at a glance what the topic is interesting part and relevant parts you're searching for. You're searching the answer, you see it immediately, and you already know that okay, this article can help me, and you go right through it. You don't need to alternatively what you would have done was to read the from the top, read the introduction, and then little by little move along all the different sections. But this can take a lot of time, and we know that reading can be hard, especially highly technical or in-depth articles can be very hard. So right now you already see it and you just go through it. Bam. Don't waste your time. Now, what happens if indeed there is no table of contents? So what do you do? One solution is a nice tip. One solution is to read the section. You just scroll down and just glance at every section. But it also happened that not all of the blog posts or articles will have section, despite it being SEO friendly. I personally sometimes even forget to add them in my blog post, so it's quite normal. Then it what I think is that these kinds of posts or articles are not lengthy enough, so maybe you can glance through the whole post and have an idea. Okay, next, actually, this is quite counterintuitive because once you're going to be reading a post, you will start with an introduction. But what I found very interesting, actually, this is an idea that is promoted, that is heavily promoted in the book How to Read a Book, is that to have an idea, a precise idea, if the book is somewhat relevant to you, or let's say you are programming and you're debugging something and you have this long article and you're not sure if this is correct for you despite this table of content or there is none. So you just go to the conclusion and it will give you a summary to conclude this is X, Y, Z, and is this happening as you want it or not. So already within a few seconds you have all the information you need. And I find it super helpful when I'm debugging something. Apart from Stack Overflow, they're usually very good blogs that talk about certain technologies or some issues as well. So by going right down, you get all ideas. But sometimes it also happen that some posts or articles do not have a conclusion. Okay, so the example itself was I don't have it, but bonus. Let me give it bonus. Each time you read a long article, it's best that after maybe 15 minutes or even less if you can, just take a pause and make some notes. Why? Because this will help you reflecting on the content in regards to what your situation, your context. For example, let's say you're reading how to debug um, a console application, but you're in a Docker environment, so you wait, you reflect on how you can use this material that you are learning, because otherwise it will be only passive reading, and the problem with passive reading is after some time you just forget it. Not only that, but it doesn't really help because it might even you might even think of it like non fiction, just something good to know, and then you forget it, and then you don't use it. And also also after a while you don't remember it at all. I'll give you an example. Like a few years ago, I've learned so many technologies, but one in particular that I invested a lot of time was Angular material, and like it's been years and years, but nowadays I don't remember anything at all. And if were to learn it again, let's say right now I want to learn style components with React, so what I will be doing is reading the official documentation, for example, and then make notes of how I can of what is happening and how I can use it in my context. And this is very important. So keep a notebook handy, or if you want, you can use a online one, a software like Obsidian or Notion, and this help a lot. So I'm also reading one of the best-selling book, Ultra Learning by Scott Young, and the author always, like very often, talks about decay, that is you forget things that you learn, and also how to learn faster, how to learn much faster actually, and how to remember things that you learn. So maybe this one I will be doing another video. So hope this helps you. I'm just going to finish my tea. Au revoir.